Back with us is Joel Osteen, best-selling author and pastor of the Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. I do want to talk with you real quickly about the Reverend Billy Graham, of course, what he's meant to you and to your Christian faith and to you personally. What's your earliest memory of Dr. Graham?
My earliest memory, of course, growing up in a preacher's home, was watching Dr. Graham on television. So we would watch his specials and always be inspired. And, it's just, looking back now, never dreaming I would become a minister, it just, he's been a hero to me. And I love the fact that he's made it for the long haul. He's paved the way. He didn't get off course. He just kept doing what he felt like God called him to do. And really, he's made it easier on ministers like myself, younger ministers.
In an interview you did with Larry King all the way back in 2005, you said one of the lessons that you've learned from Billy Graham is that he managed to stay on message and not get sidetracked all those years. How's that going for you?
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I've done good to this point too. I just stay on my message of hope, and I'm not involved in politics and things as that. And there's a lot of other opportunities to do things, but I come back and say, you know what? I don't feel like that's my main calling to do that. And so a lot of things we've turned down, but just very inspired from his life.
Now, of course, when Billy Graham got on TV back in the 40s, it was a different time and a different place. But nowadays, a guy like you can get on the internet and have access to millions of people, and a lot of preachers are doing that. But what do you think distinguishes a guy like yourself who is able to kind of break through the barrier and attract more people from other preachers who are not able to have as much success in the electronic media world?
I don't know what it is. I think there's just different personalities and different messages, and not everybody has a desire to be on, or nor is everybody probably called to be on television. So I don't know. There's a lot of fantastic ministers that aren't on television. So I just feel like this is sort of following in my father's footsteps. He was on broadcast as well. So I don't know what it is.
You don't know? You can't put your finger on it?
No, because there's other fantastic ministers. I think a lot of it is just I call it God's favor. I think some of it is I'm reaping seeds that my parents have sown. 40 years there in Houston, just taking care of people, doing the funerals, visiting the hospitals. I mean, I started with the base. 40 years down the road when I was 36, my dad had a big church already built, so I started ahead of a lot of people in that sense. So, but that's just I just say it's the blessing of God. It's like the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It just kept getting passed down. So that's why I don't try to, I certainly don't take credit for it all. It's God's blessings. It's my parents and other things.
I'm guilty of this, and I'm not the only one, though, but a lot of people have compared you to Billy Graham. Is that daunting for you? What's that like?
It just always feels very honoring. I know there'll only be one Billy Graham, and I see it, I know what they're saying. I just take it as very much of an honor because he's, like I said, he's been a hero and somebody that we all celebrate.
All right, Joel Osteen, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and insight on the Reverend Billy Graham.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Newsmax TV.